Hello, 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 and welcome to an episode of From the Pitch to Purpose, where I literally tell you all of my life transitions and I bring people along who also tell you their life transitions. And honestly, I've been a little MIA, and I'll tell you, boy, I've gone through some transitions, so let's go. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about love. Yes. So over the last couple of months, I have not been podcasting. I have been living my life. I've been having a great time. And in that time, I've actually met a beautiful girl. And I have had so much fun getting to know her. And that's not necessarily why I haven't podcasted. Don't get it twisted. I've just truly been so focused on the amazing things going on in my life. I also have ran, since my last podcast, I have ran my very first ever writing retreat. And when I tell you that I am flabbergasted, my gast is flabbered. I am seriously so in awe of the women who came to this, who really did release through writing. And it was everything that I could have dreamt of. It was genuinely like a little bit serendipitous because I'm still trying to grasp. This happened weeks ago, and I'm still trying to grasp what the heck even happened in those rooms. We had so much transformation. We had so much love, so much acceptance, so much safety. And they dove all the way in. I was making them scream. I was making them tear things. We had a release session with the beautiful two. I'm telling you, these are two just groundbreaking women, Brie and Nat, and I cannot even explain how much they did for us in our release session. We got to dance. We got to shake our trauma out of our hips. We got to bang on some things, and they led us through a release session in that way. We had my beautiful sister, who you heard in the first episode, Daphne Brand. She came and did a session with us about just our expectations in the workforce and how to advocate for ourselves. We had a pelvic floor specialist come, and she talked to us about intimacy, and she talked to us about our pelvic floor, and that her name is Dr. Rose, and you can find her at Be Well Rose, and you can also find Nat and Brie at Brat Fitness on Instagram. And when I tell you, like, these women that I had come, and and we also had a panel with Shermay Peel, who is one of my very, very good friends, one of my best friends in the entire world. She just means like so much to me, and I got to let her, what she does with me almost daily, which is feed and pour into me. As a friend, I saw her do with my entire group of people that we brought. And I also had a friend, Caitlin, also my work wifey. She was my literal spine during this whole thing. And she was basically the reason why this all happened, because without her encouragement, I just would not have been able to put this on. And then while I was there, she literally made sure that I ate. She made sure everybody knew what was going on. She was everything. And so I had her on a panel as well. And I also had my beautiful girlfriend via phone. She was doing and leading some ice baths. I'm just telling you, we had massage therapists come. We just kind of released in every sense of the word. So if that's any indication of why I haven't been, podcasting, that just shows that we had so much amazing, beautiful things come. And then the last night of that retreat, we all got up onto a mic and we spoke our own truth, and we spoke out just so many things that we probably would never have said to anyone, maybe ever. We all did a poetry breakdown, and we wrote poems, and we cried together, and we laughed together, and we danced together, and we yogaed together. I had two amazing women, Kyan DeShield, and she did our yoga session, and also Angela Oxley. She led us through meditation. When I tell you we had everything at this thing, I'm very, 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 very grateful for the people who came alongside me, and for the people who just said, yeah, Sam, we'll do it, with very little information about what I was capable of. And they all just believed that I could do it, and they did it. And so I'm just so grateful right now. But I did not come to talk to you about all those things. But I do think that the love, platonic love that I felt, has very much been indicative of my life over the past few months. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about romantic love and the things I'm learning about myself, and the shadow work that you have to do when you are starting a new relationship. As you all know, I went from being a professional soccer player to someone's fiance, to someone's wife, to someone's mother, to a widow. And then I lost my dad. And I think that just saying those things, that I want you to know, it all happened in succession of 5 summers. And so saying those things gives you a snapshot of how my heart might be after all of that. It was very tattered, torn. It was very unrecognizable by myself. I've always been, full of joy, full of love. And I think it was stripped from me for a long time. And then I had this tiny little precious baby, and I was experiencing a different type of love than I've ever had. A baby that relies on you and looks into your eyes, and you are their literal sun, moon, stars. It's a very powerful type of love. And it was, the love for my daughter got me out of bed every single day, not just because, I knew she needed me, but seriously, I had to get out of bed to feed her. I had to physically move my body to make sure she was okay, to feed her food, to make sure she woke up, to make sure she took naps. I mean, she saved my life in so many ways. And so as I've been healing over the past couple years, I had her by my side, and the longer that I was alone in parenting her, the longer that I was unwilling to bring someone else into my life. And I've talked about this a few times, and I've talked about how it's really scary for me. It was very scary for me to think about anyone coming into my life romantically, because now I have this tiny little human who I'm her only constant. We've lived in Sweden, we've lived with my husband, and then we lived with my family that I call my surrogate host family. We lived with them while he was struggling, and then, we moved in by ourselves. And then when my dad got sick, we moved to California, and we lived with my mom and my dad, and we took care of my dad together. And in her way, she took care of my dad by just giving him a lot of little giggles. And, I was helping just be there for him. And then we moved over here to a different part of California. And so I have been her only constant, and I have been the only one for her. So when I think about me being unstable, in the sense that when you join your heart with someone, when you venture out to date, actually, to even give yourself a little bit to someone else in whatever way that you want to, you're giving a little less to your child. And I was very, very scared to do that. And I was very scared to shake her life up at all. And so I have tried the dating apps. I tried all that stuff, and I'm just a little chicken shit now. So when a stranger wanted to meet me or something, I'd be like, yeah, no. Like, if I get thrown into someone's trunk, who's going to take care of my baby? And that's the really real of why I really, I was so scared to start dating online and things like that. And then I realized, everybody that I hang out with, they're all coupled up. It's not like I'm going to meet someone that way. And so I had told a friend of mine, actually, Shermay Peel, I told her point blank, I said, I kind of still feel married to my husband, and I just don't think it's in the cards for me. I think I will truly just, stay single. And as legend tells, the second that you think that, someone will come along. But she came in the most unlikely of places. And yes, she came because before I met my husband, I had dated men and women. And prior to my husband, I had dated 3 women in a row. And so I think that I thought my future was going to be with a woman. And then, my husband showed up on my back porch one day, and we fell in love, and we had a very amazing and beautiful love. And we had one of the most beautiful love stories I've ever heard. And we got to do it in Europe. I got to do that in Europe. I found my husband in Europe. I had to go all the way over there for a man who truly just understood me, and we were just the best of buds, man. Me and my husband were just the best of buds. And so I just wasn't sure. I had this notion that you just get one love. You really do get one love story the way that I had it. And I was like, there's no possible way that I can get another love story. I just didn't think that would even be fair, almost, that I had this perfect, beautiful love. And yes, it was flawed. And by perfect, I don't mean that it was without flaw. I just mean that how it felt in my body was so natural to love my husband. It was so easy and so natural. So for me, I was just like, that probably only happens once, right? That doesn't happen more than once. And I think what's crazy is one of the things I truly despised about talking to people as a very young widow. I was 33 when he passed. I was young. I'm young. I'm a very young widow. So I had a lot of people tell me this phrase, you're young, you'll find someone else. And boy, is that a wild thing to tell someone who just buried their husband. It's wild. It is so wild. But at the same time, I know that if you said that to me, it was out of good intention, and it was because there's nothing to say to someone when they're grieving the loss that I had lost. So a lot of people said it just because it's how they felt. They felt that I was, young and there was so much life ahead of me. But the longer that I stayed single, the less I was open to having someone help me raise my daughter. The less I was open to having someone truly in my world, someone that I would have to share a bed with. I love to starfish in bed now. I was like, oh, sleeping alone, it has its perks. And just the longer that I was single, the more I was afraid to change my life again. And then, as luck would have it, the second I decided I was chill, I was cool, I'm just going to be single, out of nowhere, I meet this girl through Turn Up Dance Fitness. I saw her on a call one day, and I was like, oh, who's that? We end up on a team together, and ironically, my team number was number 6. And I have a very, very bad relationship with this number. I was number 5 for most of my club and everything soccer career. I was the number 5 on my jersey, and that was my favorite number. And I remember getting to college and getting number 6. And if you were raised in the church, and I was never really taught much about the number 6 other than it was the devil's number. That's the only thing I learned about it. And then wearing that jersey, I felt so small in college. I was such an amazing player, and I just couldn't get past these big mental blocks in college about scoring. And then I had a coach who would consistently threaten me and say things to me like, oh, if you can't start scoring goals, I might not raise your scholarship if the tuition raises next year. So that's the kind of pressure I was under playing in the number 6 jersey. So it was just one of those things for me that I started to hate the number 6. I'm like, that's just not my number. I don't like it. I don't identify with it. And in college, truly, it was like the worst 4 years of soccer that I ever played. I was so miserable in that jersey. So I never really repaired my relationship with that number. 5 is still my favorite number. Ironically and tragically, my husband actually passed on the 5th of June. And my daughter was born on July 5th. So it's still, I have a bittersweet relationship with the number 5 now, but still, it was my husband's favorite number, my favorite number. It still holds a special place in my heart. But the number 6, I truly despise it. I'm going to tell you, I despise that number. But I get into this group. It's a group of us. And they tasked me with naming our team, right? And I come up with Sovereign 6. And when I tell you that I felt like a badass bitch, part of a team that was Sovereign. And all of a sudden, this number 6, I was seeing it, and I was getting these positive feelings about it now. Sovereign 6, we're team number 6, we're Sovereign 6. This number was starting to change for me. At some point, this goddess of a woman had written something on her Facebook, and I responded, how does it feel to be mine and God's favorite? And boy, did she give me an answer. She gave me the type of answer that as someone who writes to emote, I was dumbfounded. I was speechless. I was like, wait a second. That is the most poetic response she could have ever given me. And I was so smitten. I was just like, okay, but like, no, we're never, like, nothing's going to come of it. Like, oh, what a cute little crush I'm going to have, We exchanged numbers. We started talking a little bit more. We got to know each other. And it was just like, boom. Like, one day she just, boom, FaceTimes me. What? I don't even answer FaceTimes for like my closest. I don't FaceTime people. I don't put my face on the phone and talk to people. It's not something that I do, whatever. She's still one of the only people that I'll actually accept a FaceTime call from. But we got to know each other through a phone. And I think that it was ironic because I think if we got to know each other in person, it would have been a lot harder. And I'll tell you that because I know that the physical aspect of getting to know someone romantically can sometimes halt getting to know someone on a deeper level, because you have that whole other pressure of, oh, should we hold hands? Should we kiss? Are we gonna anything? It could be the slightest thing, like just having someone in your presence, and it changes the vibe of the whole room. So when you are intentional about getting to know someone, as we were, and you are truly seeking more than just the physical in any situation, right? Any situationship, any relationship, any friends with benefitship, any of those things, when you are seeking a deeper vibe and you're seeking a deeper anything, it is kind of amazing what you're able to find out about someone. It's kind of amazing what your mind and your body and your soul will let you feel, because there was no barrier. There was no physical pressure. There was nothing that was holding us back from just talking. And I think that it's kind of the thing that's lost. It's lost in the dating world now, where we are truly like, there's so many different types of dating now, talking and oh, we're just talking, or we're just messing around, or we're just all these different types, right? All these different types. I truly, truly, truly feel that the way I was blessed to get to know this woman, and through her words and mine, and with just no need for hesitation, no need for anything other than just like, I'm going to talk and you're going to listen. You're going to talk and I'm going to listen. We're going to be intentional about our time that we talk. And I'll tell you why that was so important for the both of us. We're both mothers and we're both entrepreneurs. We are both busy people. So for me, I'm in this position where I'm like, I don't actually have time to invest my entire, even just a piece of my heart into someone if we don't go deeper than maybe is comfortable. And we both have those. She's got children. I have a child. I'm just like, we have to know, what are your boundaries? What things do you not want in a relationship? What do you want in a relationship? Are we compatible? Day one, we talked about that stuff. And it's not just because that's what queer people do. It's because both of us have enough respect for ourselves to know that, hey, maybe we're not compatible. Maybe we could be best friends. Maybe we can be this, we could be that. But let's make sure we're compatible, because our vibration and where we're trying to vibe right now is at a place where we're not willing to let anyone in that space to shake it. And I think that this phrase popped up in my mind this morning that was like, with great love comes great responsibility. And I think they say it's a Spider-Man one that says, with great power comes great responsibility. But I'm going to tell you, like, it is so much responsibility to love someone. It is so much responsibility, because they are going to show you parts of themselves. They're going to show you things that they're not willing to show anyone else. And you have a responsibility to take care of and to love on them and love them through those things. And you have a responsibility with what you do with the deepest parts of someone. And as scary as that is, that's also freaking beautiful. It's also beautiful that in this lifetime, we can get to know someone deep enough that we have the responsibility to care for their heart and their soul. And I think that that's what I'm learning in dating again, is that, like, I knew that when I married my husband, that I had the responsibility to love him till death do us part. I had that responsibility, and I took that on, and I said, yes, sir, I will love you till death do us part. That is the vow that I give you today. Did I think it was going to happen 2 years later? No, absolutely not. But at the same time, I kept my vow, because I loved him thoroughly and purely and as big as I could until the day that he died. And now I'm in a situation where I have the responsibility of somebody's mother, of somebody's sister, of somebody's daughter, of somebody's best friend. It's not just I'm dating someone and I'm excited and it's so much fun and I have a crush and oh my God, we're in love. No, I have a true responsibility to love this woman to the best of my ability. And once I learn that there's a place in me that isn't up to par, it's my responsibility to either fix it, to seek help, to fix it within myself, or to let her go to find someone who's willing to. Whoa, right? But I absolutely am so up for the challenge to love someone thoroughly and purely and beautifully, because, dude, she's worth it. She's so worth it. And then, guys, the way my kid and her have connected is, like, powerful to me. Because I think as a solo parent, you worry that no one's going to love your kid the way that she's meant to be loved. And when I tell you this girl does, like, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I'm going to have her on here, but I just wanted to introduce man, I'm so happy. I'm happy with what I'm doing in my work. I'm happy with my family. I'm happy with my daughter, but I'm telling you right now, I'm so happy with this new love. Like, I'm so happy that I have the responsibility of loving this person. And I'm going to get her on here. You guys are all going to meet her. It's going to be great, great, great. But just wanted to tell you what's been going on in my life since I literally stopped. I stopped podcasting, and it's not going to be one of those things that I tried and dusted and it's like, nope. I love this. I love speaking into people. I love getting to know you guys this way. I love you guys getting to know me this way. And so I can't wait until I get her on here. We're going to have my sister back on here. We're going to have my oldest sister on here at some point. We're going to probably have another episode with my mom. I mean, we all love the one with my daughter. She's already a totally different person than the person you guys met in that first episode. So please, please keep listening. Do all the subscribing, all those things that, the podcast thing is the podcast thing. Do those things for me. Thank you so much. I love you. And go tell someone they're awesome today. Bye.